X Games Real Ski 2021. That is what we're talking about today, lads. There's been a couple reviews on it. I wanted to recap it because there was, again, a little bit of controversy in this X Games Real Ski, similar to Knuckle Huck and some of the other events this year. X Games Real Ski this year was completely different. I was personally really surprised with X Games Real Ski this year. Top two, right where I thought it was. The third place one, obviously some controversy there. I'm not here to rip on anybody, to make any judgment calls. It's not me, it's up to judges. I think maybe somebody else might have got a spot over Tanner Hall for that third place. But then again, the man is, however old he is now, he's definitely getting up there, and he's still throwing down at the level he is. So it's quite impressive. I have obviously watched these before, but I want to break them down and kind of go into detail and talk about it. And I want to watch them again because they were pretty good this year. Quickly, before I get into it, this is one thing I didn't like about X Games Real Ski this year. I thought it was real street. I guess I'm dumb. I guess I missed the memo, but I thought it was supposed to be all street parts. I watched A-Hall's very first, and there was like half of it was powder. Super sick powder shots. Wasn't expecting it, wasn't ready for it. In my opinion, I would like to see it go back to real street and solely real street in the future, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And I got it on playlist here. So the first one that came up is Taylor Lundquist, Real Ski. Sorry if I pronounce anybody's name wrong. I'm not great at this, like I said. This is the first one on the list. Starts off with a big back two. I like that. It's really sick to see right there. Switch to fakie. Super clean. I like it. I really like the vibes of hers too. It's really nice. That backslide was sick. And then into another feature too. I like it. Linking tricks. 180 up. Oh, yeah, baby. Woo! I like that too. That was creative. More of a jump feature, which you don't see a lot of, especially from the girls in the street. That was creative as well. I might have liked to see something a little bigger on that feature, but it is linked to another one, so super dope. Especially with the two on. There's a nice two on. The nose tap over the fence, and let's point this out here. That's a closeout rail, and a pretty decent closeout rail too. So obviously when Taylor's video part, I'm not expecting the gnarly burly stuff like to the level of the guys, obviously. Still, this is still a pretty, no, I wouldn't say like the hardest rail, but like there are consequences if you fall off this rail early. Like if you don't hop over to that fence side and like, well, she tapped it, but if you don't hop over to that fence side, she's going to get closed out, and that's a good 6 foot drop right there. It's probably like 4, 5, 6 feet. So respect to that. That was dope. And super clean too. Right into the bike rack. I really like that shot there. That was really sick. The only thing I would say is that's two tricks on the same feature. Again, not a huge problem, but in like a typical street edit, unless they're like incredibly insane, you don't normally want to do that, but still super dope. And the one thing I want to say too is her style in this entire video is on point. It's not, it doesn't look flaily. It doesn't look like she's struggling to get any of these tricks around. It's very clean and it's very stylish. So I like that a lot. Helmet's on for this one, baby. 2 on. That's a big down rail. 2 on to switch. Nice. Super clean. Nice ender. Yeah, no complaints. That was really sick. It's super dope to see a girl in real street and a girl like Taylor who doesn't do the park scene, doesn't do anything else, because real street, I guess real ski now, has kind of become a lot of the skiers who have, I would say, more clout, more comp skiers that have more clout in real street to kind of bring up the viewership, I think is the idea behind it. That's why you see people like Ferdy. A-Hall obviously has done street before, so I'm not going to put him in there. People like Ferdy who haven't really done a whole lot of street before over some people that purely ski street. But it is really sick to see her in there and to put together a really good part. Like it was a really good part. It's got to be, I would say it's got to be the best women's street part I personally have seen. So next up we got Tanner Hall. Like I said, I'm running through the playlist here, so we're going to see what goes on. I'm assuming I've watched this already, but I'm ready for more Cali P music. You know, I've heard it and I'm ready for more of it. Also, before we get into this too, this threw me for a loop because, again, I thought it was real street, and Tanner Hall's, the majority of it is powder. I would like to see more street, but that's just me because it's real ski now. You're allowed to do park and powder. I would still like to see street-based edits, but that's just me. POV, trip backy. Oh, yeah. So that's super big. I don't see a lot of people ski backcountry without poles. Maybe get some poles. I really like skiing with poles over skiing without poles. Again, personal preference. So cork 9 into the hip, 3 out, nice. Dub back, switch 1, super clean. Again, like I said with Taylor's, another trick on the same feature. Maybe pick one of the better ones. I did hear that he got injured and wasn't able to film as much as he wanted to, so maybe that's why something like that is, or he's just really stoked in the clips. Either or. Again, I'd like to see like one shot per feature or per area, I guess, but that's just me. Yeah, that's can't feel good. Nice front 2. Again, like I said, Tanner is old and he's put his body through the ringer, so insanely gnarly street stuff isn't really what I'm expecting, but it is really good to see him like in an event like this. But none of these street spots really blew me away. This is pretty nice, did the concrete into the wall. That's still a pretty big one, but could be harder. That was a nice 2 on the switch. That's a pretty heavy DFD. I mean, again, like not the most insane one. You're obviously going to see harder rail tricks and gnarly rail tricks from the other guys, but still very, very sick. And clean too. Switched up 9 into a stream. I was surprised with that one, but I guess he wanted to see if he could avoid the stream after hitting it. It's dope. I love how he uses a song that says his own name in it in his edit, and the entire time it's just born as a winner. I mean, he did get 3rd, so he might be onto something. Coming in switch 5. That's a big gap. It's a nice switch 5. Super clean. Dub flat 7, same hip. And the pow. A lot of his was pow. The best street clip I saw in his edit was the 2 to switch. Again, I don't think that cuts it, especially for 3rd place. Even when you take into account his age and stuff, you can maybe argue it, but again, I just don't think it's quite there. One conspiracy theory, if you will, that people have been saying is that technically now that he got 3rd here, he's tied with Henrik Carlo again for the most X Games medals in history. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it might be a marketing thing they got going on. Who knows? But it's interesting how Henrik won Knucklehuck, and once he did that, Tanner Hall wins real ski. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it. He didn't put together a sick edit. His edit was really good. I just don't think it was as good as maybe like Lupe's or Ferdy's, for example. But again, this is what it is. It's all personal opinion. That's why skiing contests suck and is also really sick at the same time. Before we get into it, I'm not gonna say by far this one is probably one of my favorites, just because it has a lot gnarlier aspect to it and very tech tricks. It kind of hits on every point of it. And if you're going to do real ski and allow powder clips and everybody else is going to use powder clips, you should probably use some too. And his backcountry clips are by far the best out of everybody's. Yeah, just watch. Starts it off very strong. This is just insane. Like, I don't know who wants to do that, but he does. Switch cork 6 onto this concrete down C-rail ledge. That is like super insane. I'm gonna go back at you. I'm gonna watch it again. Quick dub underflip. Maybe not corked. It's a little off axis. I would say it's corked. Comes around and locks onto a concrete edge and grinds the whole thing to switch perfectly. That is really, really gnarly. 360 up. Very, very clean. And that's another thing there. Like, so he goes from switch cork 6 onto a concrete ledge to a 360 onto a fence, drop to a rail, and then a backslide, backside's a huge down rail. So he kind of hits on all aspects of urban skiing, from gnarly to technical to creative. 360 up, hand drag 5 out. And then he goes out and does that and does a cork 9 nose tap over a fence. So he really does hit all aspects of it. Sorry for pausing it so much, guys. Okay, this I got paused again. This is I would say this is my favorite trick of the entire X Games Real Street, because this is really, really gnarly. To nose, so right here he does switch to like tail tap revert or nose tap revert to down rail and avoids like a closeout sign at the bottom. It's really insane. Hits that, taps, comes around, boom, tap, switch to, and then right there, if he doesn't get that back two out, he's getting smoked. Or if he doesn't lock onto that rail, he's getting smoked by that pole. So that's really dope. And that's almost like a dub 7 into a wall, or into a roof, I guess, not a wall. So that's something to be. Yeah, okay. That's also another one too, like 2-7 up, Misty 5 out, 2 on. That's such a creative feature right there, and to be able to hop all those rails is also just super gnarly. The fact that he looked at that baseball fence too and decided he wanted to flip off that the way he did that's something else as well. Switched up 14 in the POW. So clean. Otherwise, switch 10. Switch 7. Oh! What? Yeah, like switch flat 3, front flip. Wow. The other thing I really wanted to note too is that all of his POW clips are switch to switch, which I thought was really dope. Skiing powder switch, hitting jumps, powder jump switch, skiing backcountry switch is really, really hard. And there's a different level to it when you're doing switched up 14s, the switch in the backcountry. It makes it hard. And the creativity too. The creativity leaks into the backcountry clips with the Zender as well. So I think it takes the cake in my opinion. But again, I'd like to know what you think. Oh my God, that's a monster. And it's a S too. Wow, I thought I saw stops in there for a second. That's a huge rail. 2-7 onto the down. The switch. Clean. Hand drag 1 into the... Another clean one. Switch on. Back 4. Nice. Front swap, back 2. I think Lupe's got a very good vibe to it, and it's very real street-esque, which is what I like about it so far. Obviously, none of the tricks here, they don't have as much of a wow factor as some of the ones that A-Hall has done, where you just go like, that shouldn't be possible. These are all really hard technical tricks, just they seem a little bit more on the doability spectrum, which is pretty crazy to say that these tricks seem more doable than other ones, but it just kind of does. It's a really nice shot, but again, straight grind. That was really nice too, super sick trick selection, but doesn't have that same wow factor. That was stylish. I really like that. Switch to switch on this concrete ledge. Front 4 out, nice. It's a 6 spot. Super clean front 6. Again, like somebody, I think most freestyle skiers that are pretty decent could probably front 6 out of that rail. I just haven't seen anything that's really like, oh my God, like there's no way I would want to try that, which is kind of what I look for in real street. Like if you guys remember back to like 3 or 4 years ago when you had like LJ Strenio in there and stuff, and you look at the rail features he's hitting, or like the backflip stall, like stuff like that, the risk like reward is so high here, and the consequences if it goes wrong is so high here. And just like the DD, you look at a trick like some of the tricks like he did back in those days, and you're like, my God, like you'd have to pay me so much money to even think about trying this. And here it's kind of like, all right, yeah, like I can see myself doing this in a couple hits. Like obviously some of them are super technical. That long down rail at the very beginning, that would have taken me like months to get. But again, nothing like I'm like, oh my God, like this right here, super sick, but doable. And like this, super gnarly. Switch 2 onto the fence. That's sick because you could get closed out by... If you look right here, that fence still has things that you can get closed out by that. That's gnarly. I don't know. I really like Lupe's part. I thought it had really sick vibes to it. I thought it was a very good representation of what real street should be. Just missing a couple of the gnarlier tricks that have that wow factor. as you'd like to say. Or as I'd like to say. Okay, next up, we got Mr. Alex Hackel. Alex Hackel, I would say, he's kind of transitioned into street, because he used to be a pipe skier, actually. He transitioned into swerve skiing, then street. And his street is very, very creative and very gnarly. He has a mixture of creativity and gnarliness to it that makes it, I would say, this is why I put him second before they came out. I think he got second anyways. I think he deserved it wholeheartedly. I think he was very close to A-Hall, and it could be contested whether he won or not. I think A-Hall beat him by a bit, but not by a whole lot, for sure. Maybe it was just the editing style. Some people might not have liked it. I thought it was really cool and creative, but some of the stuff he does in this is really, really insane. So I guess watch. And okay, I'm gonna keep pausing these videos all the time, but that 2-on was huge. That is a big 2-on. If you go too slow into that rail, or if you don't lock on, you're getting tossed into those stairs, or you're getting tossed into the front of the rail. So I really like the way he started that out. And that's just a what the fuck clip. I don't know how that's possible. To even wall ride from one of those ones to the other one is pretty insane, but to do it that clean to switch with a 5 in there is, this is what I mean by creativity and different. Switch 2, back cork 6. That was one of my favorite ones too of this real street this year. That was probably one of my favorites. Underflip 5 out, super dope. Hand drag 2-7, that was a huge hand drag 2-7. That was one that if you don't make it around your feet, you're getting really bodied. And then he does a dub 7 over a fence. Yeah, I forgot about that. And then into a 360 nose butter 3 over that other fence. That was really dope. And same with that. So first of all, he does a dub in street, which very, very few people have. Mango did it like last year, I believe. And then right here does this hand drag or body slide 5 off this pyramid roof, which is, again, insane. I don't know. He just has a really good variety of tricks. This takes the cake for me. That is the best trick of the real street, in my opinion. To do that, I don't know. I feel like he might be one of the only people that can do that trick and will be able to do that trick. That's just something that a lot of people don't practice. And it takes a lot of time to do if you were to practice it. And to have the balls to do that. Because if you miss that hand plant, like, get wrecked. You're gone. Flat, flat, flat. Ooh, it's all the flats. Back swaps that last one. Oh my God. Yeah, that back swap in the last one was really high risk too. And it was very, very well done. So I put him in second. And again, if you want to take into the real street aspect of it instead of the real ski aspect of it, I put him in first. That's just how I see it. Next up, we got Mr. Ferdy. Probably one of the happiest guys in all of freestyle skiing and in the industry. Pretty much murders everything he does on skis and everything he does as well. He's really, really, really sick skier and has some of the gnarliest style, some of the best style that's out there right now. Again, I thought it was supposed to be real street, real ski. So he has a park clip in here. Super sick park clip. Don't get me wrong. Again, just I don't know about park clips in real street. Starts it off. Lip on. Oh! Wow. That's an interesting trick selection for that because he could have done like a back 4 or something, but he decided to go front 4, which means he really has to get those tips up and over that closeout. And you can see here, it's not quite a cork 4, but it's like almost a cork 4, maybe on purpose or maybe just because he was trying to get those tips over. I think that was really sick because that is a gnarly trick to select on that feature. And little to no snow. Just 2 front 2. So again, straight slide 2 on the same feature. Not my personal preference, but that's up to everybody else. Switch 2 prets 2 on a down rail. Almost doesn't quite cut it in street compared to what we've seen in previous years, but very, very clean. And that's the other way. Switch 2 prets 2 in DFD. That was sick. Lip 2, back 2. Super sick. Other way, 2 prets 6. Very, very clean. Not really a high DD rail, like not really a super gnarly rail, but that was really, really clean. Oh, dub nose too. I like that one a lot. Fast slide across that entire thing is super sick. Front slide, fast slide, whatever you want to call it. Back 4. So 2 different closeout clips. Yeah, that was nice. I like that a lot. Very little landing there too. All right, so into some backcountry-ish. That was dope. I really like that one too. It's not something you see. And in a line too. I forgot about that. Into a dub 12. Dub 10. Wow, yeah, I forgot about that. And then into dub bio 10 tail. So as sick as that one park clip was, it just feels like it doesn't quite have a place in here just because it's like a singular park clip. Like maybe even if you put 2 park clips in there, I feel like it has more of a place, but that's just my opinion. It was, don't get me wrong, it was the sickest dub bio 10 I've seen probably ever. So power to ya. Front 3 swap. Super clean, locks in to forward and right into the fence at that end. That was awesome. Ferdy's part, in my opinion, takes third. I think that takes third. I think it takes third over Tanner Hall's. I think it has more trick variety, has more feature variety. I think it just has a higher level of tricks. Again, Ferdy's a lot more of a young buck than T Hall, so. But I do think it takes third over Tanner Hall's. All right, so I didn't even realize that was all of them. I want to know what your guys' thoughts were on X Games Real Street this year. I guess Real Ski, sorry, I keep messing that up. I think this year was probably one of the weakest years for X Games Real Street. If I have to be that guy, I would say Alex Halls and Alex Hackels really stood out to me. Those are really dope. I think those could compete with most of the ones from any of the other years. Taylor Lundquist was really sick to see a girl in it. And T Hall was good to see him back in X Games, even though it's a different aspect of competing in X Games. But it was an interesting one. I'd like to know what you guys thought about who should have took third place. I think first and second is pretty solidified between Alex Hall and Alex Hackel. Maybe you could switch them around if you wanted to, depending on your preference personally. But first and second, I think are pretty solidified. Third place, I think is big one up for air. I think it's a big one that should be up for grabs. And I want to know what you guys thought because there is a lot of controversy out here, and you know our YouTube fam, we got like 4,000 subscribers now. So as I'm saying this, so I want to hear what you guys think. And again, I always do these. And I'm not trying to like be negative or anything like this. This is all insane skiing. I'm just giving my opinion and being like, just giving some like a critical like breakdown of it. Yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I'm out. Deuces. I'll see you in the next vlog or episode or whatever the hell comes out next. And yeah, with love from the kid. See ya.